Thank you.
Ready?
Yeah.
No teacher.
Teacher?
Yeah.
Really? What class?
Good evening. We're going to go ahead and begin the curriculum committee meeting of February 17, 2026 at 6 p.m. Roll call, please.
Mayra Reyes,
Vania Valencia.
Saul Olivas.
Amy Engel,
John Simpson. Bob Helverson.
And we had no public comments. We're going to go ahead. Let's see what, this is Mr. Simpson beginning. All right.
All right, good evening. We are excited to welcome Fred Rogers Megan Academy up for their school improvement presentation. It is hard to believe that we are in February already. And believe it or not, we actually have our last two secondary schools presenting this year for their school improvement plans. So again, first up is Fred Rogers Megan Academy.
Good evening, Dr. Halverson, Board of Education, members of the Curriculum Committee. My name is Brian Valek. I'm the proud principal of Fred Rogers Megan Academy. This is Marlon Williams, our assistant principal. We're very excited tonight to talk to you about talk to you about Fred Rogers, our school community, and our school improvement plan. Just as a quick refresher, real quick, of course, Fred Rogers, of course, is our only Megan Academy in the district. Our goal, of course, is to make our students college and career ready by offering enrichment and expansion and developing our students' talent. And we hope our size and our structure of our school allows our students to engage in cross-content project-based learning, enhance their STEM thinking, and to foster collaboration among students. At this time, I'd like to hand it over to Marlon, and he'll talk about our current reality with our data.
Thank you. Our reality is just that. If you look at the pictures below, you'll see that here at Fred Rogers, we use STEAM education to intentionally produce college and careers ready students. At the top, I would like to bring your attention to here. It says 49.1% for math proficiency in IAR. What that means is we have 49% of our students who score a 741 out of a possible 850 points. If you stroll down just below, you'll see the literacy proficiency for IAR. Here we have 86.1 of our students who scored at proficiency. What that means is they scored a possible, at minimum, 742 points out of 850. Both of those scores exceed district and state expectations. Our reality. Some say America runs on Duncan. Here at Fred Rogers, we run on respect and relationship. If you can see at the top, we have 95.2% of our students that represent our daily ADA. What that tells you is that we truly value respect and relationship. If you look just below, we have currently 7% of our students representing chronic absenteeism. With great and much enthusiasm, I'm here to say that that number has dropped significantly, as last year it represented a double-digit number. Once again, we take great pride in respect and relationship here at our school. You can see the picture below as we celebrate our kids at our quarterly awards assembly, where we take the opportunity to put on a great show to tell the kids how much we love them for their daily work that they put in here at Fred Rogers.
Next, I'd like you to take you through our current school improvement plan, and you'll notice that there is a kind of consistent alignment between numeracy and literacy, as far as our goal being trying to improve the percentage of students in our school meeting or exceeding state level standards by 5% by each measure. We've also decided this year, our school improvement team, to use the priority teaching practice of using classroom discussion and questioning techniques as a way to augment our students' strengths in each of these areas here. In literacy, we really focused on having teacher-provided professional development and questioning techniques taking place at our faculty meetings, where they present successful strategies and moving things from being teacher-centered to student-centered. This has allowed us to implement the use of instructional strategies and provides us the scaffolding to support students in their student-to-student discussion. The graph below is kind of a representation of, as we've done and collected data in our school through our learning visits, looking at the depth of knowledge required for our learning tasks here. As you may recall, the depth of knowledge is the framework for assessing the cognitive complexity of tasks being asked of students. So during our learning visits, we've seen that over 75% of the learning tasks required in our classrooms are requiring students to be at that higher depth of knowledge of 2 or higher, meaning that we're asking them to apply their skills and concepts, to employ strategic thinking, and also to produce some extended thinking in their responses there. Our pictures illustrate a couple of these activities in literacy. So on the far left, we see one of our students performing her Where I'm From poem at the Aurora Public Library. And then next to that, we see students in the social studies classroom engaged in a Socratic seminar related to a debate. Numeracy once again is using a similar goal target of 5% growth of our students, and also using the priority teaching practices of questioning and discussion techniques. Where we might expand upon this a little bit differently in math than in literacy is that we are having our math teachers provide regular formative assessments in which the students are required to provide a written explanation of their thinking. So not only to get to the answer, but then tell us how they got to the answer, which models what they're expected to do on the IAR test. We've also looked for opportunities to apply math practice standards in cross-curricular content. So for example, in our picture here, we see some students in a science lab who are also going to be doing some graphing and measuring using some of those math practice standards to move those things along. What this graph represents here is actually looking at what our students are doing. So previously I talked about tasks, and now it looks at the activity of the students here. And what this shows is that we have from our data, from our learning visits, that over 80% of the time we see students who are fully engaged in challenging cognitive learning taking place. And what this has them do then is apply skills, the problem solving, and then doing things with innovation and creativity. So they're being actively engaged cognitively throughout the lessons there. Moving on to our goal for the focus on culture for belonging, our desire to see a 5% growth in students' perception and the responses on the 5 essentials from 2025 to 2026. But as that survey just opened up last week, we needed another tool this year to kind of measure a student perception. So our school improvement team authored a short survey, which we have administered each of the first 3 quarters this year, asking some core questions about students' connection to our school. 3 I wanted to identify were whether or not students could identify a trusted adult at our school, if they feel like they belong at our school, and if they felt that students treated them with respect. And in each of our facilitations of that survey, we found students' responses to be in the 90 percentile responses. We're very happy to see that 2 of the 3 questions that we saw consistent growth going from first quarter to second quarter to third quarter. We did not see the same growth in that question about belonging there, but we did see some growth in some other areas. Besides actually measuring student responses, we'd also turn that data around a little bit. So for example, the question about I can identify a trusted adult, we would take the results of the students who consistently identified they did not have a trusted adult, talk to those students' teachers, and find ways to maybe engage relationships and rapport with those students as they work through those things. In addition to the survey, this year we tried implementing what we're referring to as family activities. So we have randomly kind of scattered our kids into consistent groups across grade levels. So each quarter they're doing a different project in this small group, but you'll have 6th, 7th, and 8th graders all clustered together in the same room. And what this has allowed really is then engagement across our building. We have a smaller building of under 300 students, and we want to maximize that opportunity. Our picture here represents our December activity where our students were doing a service project for one of our local nursing homes and creating greeting cards and gift bags for them there. But we really feel that these activities allow our kids to have that greater relationship building with their peers and also provide some opportunities for some student leadership. We're very proud of our students. We're very proud of the things we're accomplishing at Fred Rogers this year. And at this time, we'd be open to any questions you might have about our school or our school community.
I have no questions. Thank you.
Did we find ways to help these students feel like they belong?
Yes. So, interestingly enough, I have a hypothesis about the second question here. So we did see some growth. The third time we gave the survey was actually in the last couple of weeks, and we saw some kind of maybe some stress among students across the district with, things taking place in the community and things like that. And I don't want to excuse it away. But what we'll do with this data now is go back and look at kids that see those who felt they belonged early in the year and maybe they don't belong now, and kind of do some deep dive, some discussion with them. So it might be a check-in with the counselor or the social worker, or it might be doing some team activities or some different things like that. But our goal is to have 100% across all the way and feeling kids that they belong in our school and they feel like they can contribute and grow while they're there. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Fred Rogers team. Next up, I'd like to welcome the Simmons administrative team for their school improvement plan presentation.
Good evening, members of the board, superintendent, cabinet members, and colleagues present this evening. Tonight, we're proud to present Simmons Middle School Improvement Plan. This reflects intentional aligned work centered on strengthening instruction and improving student outcomes. Our school improvement plan is led by our school leadership team, which includes 15 members representing administration, instructional coaches, and teacher leaders. Several members are here with us tonight. Our administrative team includes Assistant Principal, Principal James Lowe's, and Assistant Principal Jamie Linder. Together, we work to ensure alignment between instruction, student support systems, and accountability. Our mission is to promote a positive learning environment that supports the academic, social, physical, and emotional development of every student. Our vision is to provide academic excellence and a socially responsible teaching community for all students.
For our current reality, we have a lot of data, and this reflects our current academic standing. The SIP team monitors this data to track progress as it relates to our SIP plan. And we not only look at the entire body with this data, but we also look at our subgroups that are identified in our SIP plan. While we see areas of relative strength, particularly in literacy, overall proficiency shows continued opportunity for growth, especially among these specific student groups. Our response is centered on strengthening Tier 1 instruction so that students consistently engage in grade level standards in every classroom. For our attendance and behavior reality, our ADA remains stable at 91%, reflecting consistent attendance for most students, and there has been a decrease in our chronic absenteeism as well. Referral data allows us to monitor patterns and ensure expectations and supports are applied consistently across our building, and these indicators guide our improvement efforts on our SIP team.
Our literacy SMART goal is a minimum 5% increase in students meeting or exceeding grade level expectations on the spring 2026 IAR test. To meet this goal, our priority teaching practice centers on strengthening instruction by intentionally structuring learning experiences so all students are actively engaged. This includes using aligned instructional materials, designing tasks to promote participation, and cultivating deeper questioning and student discourse. Through PLCs and structured learning visits, we monitor implementation of our goal. Our learning visit data shows stronger consistency from Q1 to Q2 in classrooms where learning targets are clearly posted and aligned. We are also seeing a high percentage of lessons aligned to depth of knowledge, level 2 or higher, meaning students are being asked to apply skills and concepts rather than simply recall information. The student images at the bottom show this in action. Students are engaged in small group discussions and structured tasks while teachers circulate and support learning. These visuals reflect active participation aligned to our literacy goal. Our numeracy goal is mirrors the literacy goal in that we are aiming for a minimum 5% increase across all of our student groups. For a couple of student groups that we want to highlight, one, for children with disabilities, we are implementing clear scaffolds, supported questioning, and structured group work to increase participation and understanding. For our English learners, we are strengthening sheltered instruction, vocabulary development, and supports that build academic language. Through structured learning visits, we monitor whether these supports are visible during instruction. In the second quarter, we are seeing stronger implementation. Our priority now is ensuring consistency across all of our classrooms.
For culture of belonging, our goal is to reduce chronic absenteeism to below 30% by June 2026. The graph at the bottom shows meaningful progress. Last year, chronic absenteeism was 40%. This year, it has decreased to 30% until 2 weeks ago, and as of today, it has decreased to 28%. This improvement reflects intentional action. We have strengthened communication with families, increased early monitoring of attendance trends, connected the students with supportive adults, and reinforced consistent expectations across the building. We are prioritizing relationships and making sure students feel connected to and valued. Attendance, engagement, and achievement are closely connected. And this progress demonstrates our systems are moving in the positive direction. In summary, our work centers on strengthening Tier 1 instruction, improving consistency across classrooms, closing achievement gaps, increasing attendance and belonging. We're seeing progress in instructional alignment and attendance outcomes, and we remain committed to measurable student growth. Thank you for your continued support. We welcome any questions.
I don't quite have any questions right now. There's some data that I kind of looked at that I might have questions, but I just need to gather some of those things together first. But thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Simmons team. Next, we have our 2026 Magnet Lottery presentation that myself and Dr. Gonzalez are going to go through. So our goal today to go through this presentation is to provide some information in regards to enrollment for next school year, the eligibility criteria piece, our communication plan, and then also our timeline. So first up with enrollment. So keeping with what we've had previously, we have 100 open seats this upcoming school year for third grade at Johnson Elementary. And then at Johnson currently this year, we have 86 students in the fifth grade section. We have 100 total seats available at Fred Rogers for that class as they move into sixth grade. So we do have 14 open seats then for the sixth grade class next school year at Fred Rogers. My apologies.
Good evening. Our goal is to ensure our students are academically prepared for our magnet program, so we establish clear eligibility criteria. Students must perform at or above the 50th percentile on NWA MAP assessments, both math and reading. For reading, we consider students' performance in their dominant language. We also consider students' grades as part of the eligibility determination. And shout out to the principals. They worked really hard this past winter to reinforce and promote strong performance on these winter benchmarks, so that every student interested in applying is positioned for success. We also crafted a strategic communication plan so that all of our East Aurora 131 families are fully informed about this great opportunity. It'll begin this month with a press release from our school communications office. Next month, we'll send targeted calls and messages to all East Aurora families. I'll personally be attending some parent association meetings to explain the magnet process application in detail. And we'll also be promoting this application process through coffee with the principal. At the end of the month, if there are additional seats available, letters of invitation to apply will be sent home to students who meet the eligibility requirements for magnet. And here you can see key dates related to the lottery process. So at the end of this month, the online application will be available. The lottery window will officially open. The deadline to apply will be March 25th, so that gives our families 4 full weeks to apply. Parents will be notified of eligibility status on Friday, April 10th. And then the lottery will officially happen via Zoom on Thursday, April 23rd for our incoming 3rd and 6th grade students. After that, parents will be notified of their student selection or waitlist status on May 1st. And then finally, deadline for parents to return the acceptance of enrollment form to the district is Thursday, May 14th. So that gives sufficient time for our parents to make an informed decision, as well as time for us to finalize enrollment for our magnet schools. And that concludes our presentation. May we answer any questions?
Where does the lottery take place usually?
So last year I conducted it in the 3rd floor conference room. It was a webinar, so parents weren't able to speak or ask questions, but it was visible to everyone, and I tried my best to make sure that everyone got the information they needed and made myself available for questions after the lottery process. You're welcome.
Any other questions?
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Good evening. Tonight, we wanted to talk about the development of a parent advisory committee. Illinois law requires school districts to establish several parent advisory committees to support student programming and ensure parent input. These include committees such as Bilingual Parent Advisory Committee, a Parent Advisory Committee, and a Behavioral Interventions Committee, which are outlined in Board Policy 2.150. As you know, the district's Bilingual Parent Advisory Committee is established and functioning as required, quite successfully. However, the district has not yet formally assembled the Parent Advisory Committee as outlined in state statute. The intent of the Parent Advisory Committee is to provide families with a structured opportunity to offer input on areas such as student discipline practices, behavioral interventions, school safety procedures, and how student conduct expectations are communicated. State guidance allows the Parent Advisory Committee to also fulfill the role of the Behavioral Interventions Committee, provided that the district conducts an annual review of its behavioral intervention policies and procedures. Aligning these functions in these committees would support compliance while reducing duplication and strengthening coordinated parent engagement. As a result, the administration is recommending that the district formally establish the Parent Advisory Committee in accordance with state law and designate it to also meet the annual requirements of the Behavioral Interventions Committee. After we have formally established our Parent Advisory Committee, administration will return to the board with updates focused on membership, committee structure, implementation timeline, and then work on the committee from there. What questions do you have?
Maybe I'm mistaken, but I thought the district did have a parent advisory group before.
Not one that follows the structure as outlined in the statute.
Okay. Thank you.
So this would give us an opportunity to fulfill multiple compliance requirements and also provide one additional opportunity for the board to engage with the community.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
We are excited to have wrapped up our middle school social studies pilot. And here today to report out with me is Eulalia Valdez, the Executive Director for Curriculum and Instruction.
Thank you. Good evening. Today we bring forward a recommendation for social science curricular materials. Our process was a collaborative effort that included input from members in curriculum and instruction, building administration, our curriculum council, teachers, and instructional coaches. Our process included establishing curricular materials evaluation criteria, reviewing and identifying criteria-aligned materials, piloting the materials, gathering and analyzing data and feedback from the pilot, as well as coming to you with a recommendation. Through the process just described, the two curricular materials that were piloted were Cengage National Geographic and Teachers Curriculum Institute. The next 3 slides are going to provide details on teachers' evaluation of these materials. This particular slide focuses on how materials were rated against the key elements that are outlined. These key elements are a compilation of components that include high-quality instructional social studies materials, Illinois learning standards, Illinois mandates, as well as our district's guiding principles. You will note that the two materials were rated pretty comparable. When we look at the teacher's evaluation alignment with inquiry standards, though, you'll notice that TCI outperformed Cengage in every single category. When we take a look at the next area that was evaluated by our teachers, which is the disciplinary contents, all but one category basically was outperformed, TCI outperformed Cengage. And I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Amy Engel to provide us with additional details regarding our recommendation.
Well, based on the data from the pilot, we're recommending the Teachers Curriculum Institute, or TCI, as our middle school social studies resource. The resource is particularly strong when it comes to inquiry-based learning and that student engagement through those interactive resources. We did, because this was a middle school adoption, we intentionally sought out some student feedback as well. Overall, the students consistently highlighted how engaging the resource felt to them. They specifically noted the interactive activities, the clarity of the content, and the way that information was presented as reasons that this resource was a strong choice to them. And when we look at our last content-based slide, you'll see it is our recommendation that the Board of Education consider the TCI Middle School Social Studies Curriculum Resource. It would be an adoption for the next 6 years. It would include both physical and digital access to the teacher's edition, the student's textbook, and some professional development to support our work. The total cost would be $278,471.60. The materials will be available for community review at the Admin Center for the next month as well. And we would ask that at the March 16th board meeting, this would be an action item. What questions can we answer?
Can you repeat again where this books will be available to review?
Sure. Here at the Administrative Center, they'll just come to door number 1 and let the individual know at the counter that they would like to review our social studies curriculum or textbook.
Is there a way that the committee can see those books as well?
Absolutely. We can get, would you? Yes.
We don't have to see it right now, but
Yeah,
I think
you
it'll
got
be
it.
good for
Yes.
us to see that as well.
We'd be glad to.
And then I do have a quick question, well, 2 questions. How many teachers were part of the pilot and how many teachers took the survey?
In terms of the number of teachers, we had a total of 18 participate. 3 of those were instructional coaches and 15 were actual classroom teachers. And that included teachers from special education as well as our Spanish instruction classrooms and general education. And the second question?
Was how many teachers responded to that survey?
All the teachers that participated in the pilot responded to the survey.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Thank you.
In the fall, we actually discussed Press Policy 6235, which was about access to electronic networks. And if you think way back to the fall, the policy itself had reference to the district's position regarding artificial intelligence. At that time, the Board of Education requested that we form an AI team to develop some responsible use guidelines and review that information. We have since built that team, and the representative team consisting of elementary, middle, and high school staff has met numerous times. The team helped to develop a responsible use guideline, which is now available for your review. It's included in your board packet. And after you've had a chance to review that, we would consider you or encourage you to consider revisiting 6235, which was part of that discussion point in the fall.
Are we going to come back? I know the ISB is required to make something available on July 1st of 2026. Is this just our recommendation, the district recommendation going forward until they present something to us, or how would that work?
This is just the responsible use guidelines. Anything that ISB gives to us and says is a mandatory component would, of course, take precedent over anything we create.
Okay. So what would be the next step here? We review it, it goes to the board, the whole board,
Currently,
or is it just we read it and we're done?
we read it and we're done. The thing that would go to the whole board would be 6235. If you want to revisit that, that would have to come up through the F&P so that they could, again, present that policy in its original form, and you guys could make a determination about including it.
Okay. I would suggest if we could please email this document to the whole board, just so we're all aware of it.
Sure, that's
if
great.
possible. Thank you.
All right, next up, I'm going to invite my friend Eulalia Valdez back to the podium to join me again, because summer school is right around the corner and we're so excited that our summer offerings are coming together.
Okay, well, we're very excited to share our summer offerings designed for academics as well as to keep our students curious, engaged, and supported. Consistent with last year's approach, summer school enrollment is going to begin in March. We are going to have targeted invitations based on students' math and reading levels. Following this priority phase, registration will open to all interested students as space permits. Enrollment will close in April to allow for final staffing and program preparation. Our goal is to achieve enrollment that is comparable to that of last year. Shown here are student hours for summer school by grade level band. In addition to the curricular programming, we will serve breakfast and lunch to our attendees, and students at the pre-K level will have breakfast and snacks. Here are the details regarding the sites that we will be, where we will be housing our programs. In terms of the pre-K, pre-K general education as well as ESY, we will be housing that at Gonzalez Child Center. When we take a look at our K-5 general education only, we will be housing that programming at Dietrich. In terms of K-5 general education and ESY, that will be housed at Hermes. For our 6th through 8th grade, general education as well as ESY, that will be housed at Cowherd. When we're taking a look at our extension campus will house both the middle school students as well as high school students. And then our high school will be housing general education, credit recovery, original credit, as well as ESY and transition. And now I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Dr. Amy Engel. She'll go over curriculum as well as additional offerings.
Our curriculum for summer school focuses on social emotional learning, literacy, and math for K-8. Our programs are going to use our existing literacy and math curricular resources to continue to provide that continuity of instruction with the regular school year. At the high school level, we will also focus on original credit health and driver's ed so that we can help free up some space in students' schedules for during the school year. We're also offering credit recovery in all subjects through Edgenuity, which is a learning platform our students currently use to recover credit. And it allows us to meet the diverse needs of our students this way. But in addition to Edgenuity this summer, we're going to pilot an Algebra 1 math program with a dedicated math teacher. And the goal in this case is to provide that math course and support to those 9th grade students who were unsuccessful during the school year, and hopefully provide them with some timely intervention and reteaching so that we can get them back on track in math starting their sophomore year. So that is our curriculum.
I have a just quick question before we move on. When we're talking about the literacy with the HMH and into the reading and arriba la lectura, how is that going to work? Are they going to be just going back and reviewing stuff? Are they going to be reading the same stories that they read during the year?
Great question. We actually, the curriculum is very robust and we do not have time to complete all the curricular units throughout the school year. So we purposefully took a close look at those during our summer planning last year so we could identify units that could continue to be included in this summer's work.
Thank you.
All right. We also have some additional summer offerings for our families. Summer school attendees can sign up for afternoon sports camps for students in grades K through 8, just like they were able to last year. This year, we're collaborating with our athletic director and our coaches so that we can firm up some solid plans to provide support for our students. In addition, STEM Ignition is another summer camp offering that's free to District 131 students and one that we offered last year as well. We've been running the program throughout the school year with great success. It's funded by the Dunham Foundation. The STEM Ignition program will run at Dietrich, Hermes, and Cowherd, and students will participate in the exploration of STEM topics, and our community partners are super excited to continue this work this summer. Both sports camp and STEM Ignition registration will be done in tandem along with summer school registration, so our families will know those options for their students right away. In addition, we have the opportunity through the City of Aurora in partnership with the Boys and Girls Club to offer a free full-day summer camp to District 131 students as well. That registration process will be managed by the Boys and Girls Club. They've done a great job this year supporting all of our elementary schools with after-school programming. It'll be hosted at Allen Elementary, and we actually provided it last year as well, and it was a big success. In addition, back one slide for a second. In addition to these, there are some other opportunities that exist through the City of Aurora, such as theater camp. I didn't put them on here because as those details become available, we'll share them out with the community and make sure that our families have the information they need. Bless you. Okay, and this summer, East Aurora is anticipating offering again STEAM and Fine Arts summer camps for students in middle and high school for the 5th summer in a row. These students are able to sign up and attend some camps at local university campuses. We're currently collaborating with Northern Illinois University to finalize some camp and programming options and logistics. The partnerships are designed to provide our students with some engaging hands-on learning experiences that will help to inspire their creativity, get some innovation brewing inside of them, and then continue that academic growth in that college setting. So it's pretty exciting there. We're looking forward to continuing to support our students. What questions can we answer?
For the summer university experience, what is the requirement, or how do students, parents get to register or apply?
Great question. Nikita Stewart has been compiling all the information. She was almost ready to send it out, and it's a good thing she held off because we had a notification from our university partner that we had a little tweaking to do first. So we're waiting for a little bit of information from them, but what we're going to do is send out a flyer to all of our middle and high school families that are eligible, let them know, and then they are going to fill out a Google form, and we will help them get registered from there. We have limited seats, so we'll really encourage people to sign up right away, but we'll make sure we include all of that in the communication with our families.
Any other questions? Thank you.
And that brings us to our attendance and enrollment report, and we're adding registration to this one too. So since we now have that information, current enrollment as of February 9th is 11,727 students. Attendance is currently at 89.23%, which is higher than it was at this time last year. We still have some work to do, but definitely looking better than it was. We have some registration updates available tonight as well. We are only on day 17 of registration. I know that February 1st seemed so long ago, but to date, we have 35% of our families registered. That maybe, I'm not sure how you're feeling about that number, but I can tell you our team was absolutely ecstatic. We were so pleased. We have never been at 35% just 17 days into the process. In fact, we have 45.7% of our preschool and elementary families registered with, can I share? With 82.7% of our families currently opting into dual language at the elementary level. So just an information point. We also have 21.5% of our secondary families registered for middle and high school. And we know that Paula Cardona and Yaslin Zavala have been actively monitoring and regularly reporting out, and they are some of the greatest champs and cheerleaders of the registration process. It's been going really well.
One thing we talked about during our registration update today when we met with dual language was those nights where we're scheduling specifically at our schools are working. A prime example was at Bardwell recently last week. I think we had over 55 parents register on site that day. So that's definitely working. So when we're talking about a return on our investment, making sure that we're allocating resources in a fiscally responsible manner, we are seeing that it is increasing our registration numbers, which will help us in turn with staffing down the road.
Anyone else have any questions? No? All right. Again, thank you all for coming and joining us at Curriculum Committee meeting. Our meeting is, well, our next meeting will be March 16 at 6 p.m. here at the Admin Center, and we are adjourned at 6:41. Thank you. Have a great evening.